Right, and we're back. So we're here talking to the incoming Executive Director of Student Life on the MUNSU Board of Directors for next year. Her name's Kim Drisdelle, for anyone who doesn't know her. Me and Kim lived in Res together our first year. It was awesome. She's from dirty Dartmouth, Nova Scotia. The worst. She's been on the MUNSU board for 4 years. She was female res rep, and then she served 3 years as director at large. She has been a memorial ambassador, worked at the Office of Student Recruitment, volunteer at the Women's Resource Center. She was the Winter Carnival coordinator a couple of years back. Super involved in residence back in the day. I mean, I'm pretty sure she was elected female res rep like partway through our frosh year. She's a psychology major with an anthropology minor, and she has a certificate in criminology. So, Kim, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Chris.
Thanks for coming.
So, first of all, congratulations on, well,
snatching up the Executive Director of Student Life.
Being this position next year. Yeah, I was going to say winning, but...
How do you feel about it? You pumped up or what?
I'm so excited. Absolutely. This is something that I've really been looking forward to and looking forward to running for the last couple of years. I saw it and I knew I wanted it, so I'm really happy to finally be in it.
Yeah, before we get too much into the intricacies of the position, let's talk about res for a bit.
Yeah.
That's kind of where you came from, right?
Oh, yeah.
As did I. What was your favorite part about residence? Do you feel like it helped you at all kind of pursue this role or anything like that? Or?
Oh my gosh, absolutely. Residence life was amazing. I mean, you know, I moved out of residence 3 years ago. I was there 5 years ago in my first year, and to this day, it is still everybody I hang out with, and all my roommates and all my closest friends came from residence. I was a lonely old Dartmouth kid. I think I came here with one friend, and now I have definitely more than one. And yeah, you know, residence is great because you're living on campus, so you kind of are automatically engaged with what's going on. So I knew a little bit about MUNSU, and I had somebody who I knew from residence encourage me to apply to the position.
Cool. So, how is it the exact, like, tell the little story sort of how you got into MUNSU so early, like with the female res rep position in that by-election. That's when it was, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So it was actually I believe it was my senior year. Yeah, it was a by-election, so it happened halfway through the year. There was an individual who I knew him from residence, and he saw a poster up on the wall. And he knew that I was really involved in my student council back in high school. We went to the same high school. And he called me up and said, hey, I saw this, you know, you might be interested in it. So I went online, went on the website, looked at it a little bit, went into the office and talked to a couple people about it and was encouraged to try out for it. And yeah, I ended up getting acclaimed my first year. There was nobody else that ran for the position. And I've just been in love ever since, I guess.
Yeah, that's perfect.
The rest is history.
I actually met Kim at a party at Chris Russell's house in Bedford. It was a week before I came to MUN, and yourself, Haley, and Katie were the first people that I met at MUN. Mm-hmm. So Kim and I go way back. We've, you know, partied and socialized. Like, we got to know each other on a kind of a depolitical level before we got into the whole MUNSU thing. And Kim, we were going to put a couple pictures of you up on Facebook, but we want to make sure you're okay with them first. Kim and I, this was a couple years back, Kim got her hands on my cell phone and took a bunch of selfies of herself, and we took a bunch of pictures with Marie Hogan as well. So Kim, can we look at these pictures really quickly to make sure that we can get them up on Facebook? This is the first one. We got a little bit of you dancing around with Marie. Marie looks a little crazy. What about this one here, Kim? This one looks a little offensive. What were you thinking about this one? Do you, where'd you get that headband?
I think that's your headband.
Oh, yeah, we had matching red headbands for a while there.
I think that's yours, though. I think I just stole that from you. I think I still have that.
We got this one here. I don't know what
oh my God.
This one's definitely going on Facebook.
I didn't know that my face could do that.
That one, I don't know. That one's my favorite.
I was a little, it looks like I might have snatched the phone away from you right before you ate it in this picture.
Yeah, I have a thing.
I don't know what you're looking at in this one.
Oh, yes. Yeah, that's my typical face.
I wonder where everyone else was when you were doing this.
I don't know, because I seem to be totally alone just taking pictures of places.
And then we got this one's impressive. This is a good one over here. Like, yeah, guys. Audience crowd reaction on this one. And
how long have you had these?
Well,
like literally.
Is it weird that I've had them for like 2 years?
Yeah,
I didn't tell you.
A little bit. Yeah.
Maybe I'm the weirdo in this situation.
It's kind of weird that they're on your computer and not just on your phone, too.
Yeah, I think I must have like imported them and then deleted them off my phone.
Oh
and
my
I just knew there was
gosh.
going to be a golden time to have it. And then this is the three of us. I think
Is that you, me, and Marie?
you kind of look like you're doing like a little like kind of like
dance.
Soldier Boy.
Listen, I'm a
little
fun
dance.
person.
Okay, so we
Soldier Boy.
so we're gonna put all of these on Facebook right away.
Yeah, you'll see those
And
tonight.
we'll talk about it after. Maybe a little selective with it.
Oh my gosh. I can't wait.
So for those of you at home, check it out.
I can't believe you've had those on your computer for 2 years.
Yeah, it's weird.
You just knew that this day would come.
Be able to pull it out on you. Okay,
All right,
so
let's
I
get
need to
back
remember
to
this.
let's get back to questions. So why student life, Kim? Why did you pick that position?
Obviously, I'm fun
All of
according to
them.
those pictures. I've just been really engaged in student life, like I mentioned. You know, I was winter carnival coordinator. I stayed super engaged with residents even after I moved out. You know, I've done stuff with Oxfam, which is a club on campus. I was involved in the resident society. I'm a volunteer with the Women's Resource Center. Sort of everything in my extracurricular path has sort of led to student life, and it's something that I'm invested in and I'm passionate about, and I really want to show incoming students, you know, what there is at Memorial and what we can create for them, just like, and give them the experience that I had myself.
yeah, you got your feet wet for sure.
Definitely.
So what do you plan on bringing to the table? What's gonna be like kind of the like maybe your experiences in the past? What do you think is gonna really give you like an angle or like an advantage or with the student life position? What are you like looking for?
You know what? I think I'm not afraid to change things. You know, there are some things in student life and in all the positions that have been the same for years and years and years. And when we ask about them, we're always told, oh, well, that's the way it's always been. And, you know, I don't think that that's a good enough answer. I think that things do need to change. You know, I think that we need to go out, we need to talk to students, and we need to try some new things out, try some new events out at the Breezeway. You know, maybe do some stuff to the Breezeway or try some new promotion techniques with the Breezeway. Talk to clubs and societies and resource centers more. And one thing that I'm really passionate about is the biggest complaint that we seem to hear is that we focus a lot on resident students, and while that is very true, because resident students are the ones that seem to be most engaged and most invested in the university, definitely have to encourage everyone else to stay involved as well. Everyone in town and everyone who doesn't live there. Yeah.
All right, cool. So, what about your committee next year? Like, what do you want to work on with the student life committee that you
or maybe
must
explain
run?
the nature of what the student life committee is and.
Yeah, so
there.
the Student Life Committee is a committee that I chair and is composed of members from the student body. We focus around three main things. We focus around funding for students and student groups, events, so things that, you know, happen at Winter Carnival, events that we put on at the Breezeway and that sort of thing, as well as club societies and resource centers.
And so the goals of the committee in the coming year, do you have anything lined out? I mean, some would say that the committees are kind of the goals of the committee are determined by the members. But what do you want to see being fulfilled with that committee?
My main thing for the committee is I want people who are not just part of the board on the committee. I want to engage other students in our membership as well to come and have their say in the committee as well. And I want them to feel welcome, and I want their say to be heard and to know that I'm listening. That's sort of the main thing, and then take it from there, see what people want, and you know, plan events and talk about everything, and make sure that whatever, you know, I'm looking at doing, I'm making sure that I'm informing everybody on the board and everybody sort of on the committee as well, so we can all work together on it.
Cool. Excellent. Super interesting, Kim. So what, now I know that one of your summer jobs back in the day, you were doing something with events, but for anyone who doesn't know, since event planning is such a big part of your job next year, do you want to talk a little bit about your experience in that sphere?
Yeah, totally. So I actually, when I was living back in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia, I worked for a small business in Halifax for 2 years, and it was mainly an events planning and promotions company, and we serviced sort of the entire East Coast. So I did a lot of like weekend trips and that sort of thing. And I also worked, it was really great because the first summer I got to sort of be on site and help out with that. And then the second summer I did a lot of the logistics, a lot of the behind the scenes, you know, working with the trucks and working with the staffing and that sort of thing. So I saw all angles of it, and I definitely think that that's going to help me in the position to come.
So that's one big part of the committee, the events,
Yeah.
stuff like that. I'm going to move just really quickly into the funding aspect that you mentioned earlier. I'm curious about what the funding's for and how people apply for it, and if there's different kinds of funding and stuff like
totally. So we offer 4 basic funding opportunities. The first one is the Individual Merit Fund. It's for individual students to apply who need extra funding with events or things that they're going to relating to their academics or extracurricular activities. The second one is the Special Project Grant, also known as SPG. It's for student groups who are taking on sort of major initiatives that need extra funding. The third one is a more recent one from the Students Union Student Rights in Action Committee, excuse me. And it's more surrounding social innovation. It's more of a structured grant as well. It's called the Impact Award. And the fourth one is the Conference Hosting Grant, which is for student groups hosting conferences. All of these require applications. They can be found online at munsu.ca. You can come into our office in the UC and talk to somebody there. And if it's, May 1st or onward when I'll be in office, you're more than welcome to come chat with me. If you think that you'd like to look at some funding opportunities, or you think you want to see if you qualify for some funding, and I'll help you out there. And if not, you can talk to Dan Campbell, who's the current Executive Director of Student Life.
All right, cool. Now we're just going to try to quickly bang out a couple more questions before we have to go to break. So, not necessarily the most important, but definitely one of the most public and prevalent issues right now. What are some of your plans for the Breezeway next year? That's a big topic of discussion, I think.
Absolutely. We need to get the Breezeway back on track, and that's all there is to it. I need to seriously start to implement some changes. We put out a survey last year. I have that survey now, and I've seen a lot of things that people want that we don't have in the Breezeway, so we need to bring some new things in, whether that means bringing more taps in, bringing more selection, but not only that, to advertise. We need to make sure that we're bringing a new promotion strategy to the table, and so that people know what's going on in the Breezeway, and keeping people updated with the Breezeway, as well as we're rolling out a whole new event schedule this year. So we'll be bringing in some new events, bringing back some old events, and making sure that everything is promoted and advertised so people know what's going on, as well as listening to the student body, going around and making my voice heard.
Absolutely. So to those of you out there, it's going to be a very contributory process by the sounds of it, and I'm sure you can get in touch with Kim if you have any kind of recommendations. The third aspect of the clubs or the committees are the kind of the clubs and societies, the recognition, ratification, and development and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So can you explain what a club and society is at MUN and how they get started and how the union kind of endorses them? Yeah,
absolutely. So clubs and societies, if anybody's interested in a club or society, they can come talk to me or currently Dan Campbell on Student Life. They have to go through a recognition and then a ratification process where they'll come in, they'll fill out a form, they have to be active for a certain amount of time, stay in contact with us before they do receive funding. All of these recognitions and ratifications go through the Student Life Committee, and basically any group can sort of form a club or society, but first should probably go talk to the Director of Student Life, and we'll let you know how we can help you and that sort of thing. But there's lots of opportunities.
And how do you get involved in them? Is there a specific way? How do people typically approach a club and society if they haven't been involved in one before? A
really great way to actually get involved in clubs and societies is the Clubs and Societies Fair that happens during Welcome Weeks every year in September. That's a really great way. Usually we have a calendar that's posted up above the stairs in the UC. You can find them online as well. Also, all the clubs and society rooms are on the 6th floor of the University Center if you want to go out there and chat. And if not, you can just come in and chat with us in the MUNSU office, tell us what you like, what you want to do, and we'll help you out from there.
All right, cool. So we got one more question before we go to break.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for having me, guys.
I figure we would have said that at the end. So it's a bit more big picture, a bit lighter though. If you had one piece of advice for first-year students coming in about, I guess, how they could get involved, basically what there is for them to do if they're a little lost, what would your little bit of advice be to the first-year students of next year?
Come in and talk to us at the MUNSU office. Let us know what you like, what you want to do, and we'll help you out from there. Definitely, though, get involved. I wasn't as involved my first year as I wish I could have been. And really step outside your comfort zone. Go talk to people. There'll be lots happening during Welcome Weeks, during orientation. Go to things, talk to people, get numbers. Everybody's there to help you. And, be engaged, and your first year will be amazing.
All right, perfect. Well, thanks a lot for coming on the show, Kim. That was dope.
Awesome, Kim.
Thanks, guys.
We're going to go to break.